There is a knock at the door of your life. It is not loud, it is steady. It is ancient. It sounds like your own heartbeat calling you home. Tonight, I will show you a hidden hinge. Turn it, and the door in your mind swings wide to a room you have carried since childhood, but forgot how to enter. At the end, I will name the key. Remember this promise. Stay with me until the last breath of this story, and what was once a whisper will become the voice that remakes your world. Every day you hold within you a quiet field, the place where words become wind and wind becomes weather. In that field, the syllables you speak to yourself are seeds, and each seed returns as a season of your life. The old masters called it law. Neville called it feeling. Abdullah called it instruction. Joseph Murphy called it the subconscious mind. But you don't need a name to stand in your own field at dawn and decide what grows there. You only need the courage to bless your soil. Because words are more than sound. They are carriers of voltage. They are signatures of the soul. The phrases you repeat in your chest are like tuning forks that summon matching echoes in the world outside. The very tone of your self-talk is a homing beacon for experience. Bless yourself, even if your hands tremble at first, and existence begins to lean toward you like a meadow bending to light. Pause with me. Breathe, not shallow, but deep enough to feel the world breathe back. That river in your ribs, that is the life force. Call it God, call it universe, call it the unbroken fabric shimmering behind appearances. It doesn't argue, it responds. And it always responds to identity, the I am you dare to announce. So begin again. Begin with worthiness, not as a bribe to heaven, but as the memory of what you already are. Say softly, or say like thunder, I am worthy of radiant health. I am worthy of loyal love. I am worthy of ease, of clarity, of overflowing supply. Then listen, not with your ears, but with your bones, to the way your energy lifts when you stop asking permission to be blessed and start blessing yourself. Somewhere along the way, perhaps you were trained to hide your hunger, to dim your lamp in rooms that feared the flame. You learned to speak modestly about your soul's thunder, to keep your yes small enough not to alarm the sleeping. But self-blessing is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not shouting over others, it is hearing your truest name and answering present. When you bless yourself, you are not stealing from the world, you are giving it a better you. So choose a corner of your life right now, health that asks to be healed, a relationship that longs to be rinsed in gentleness, work that wishes to become vocation, or the quiet peace that once visited you in childhood and has been sending postcards ever since. Speak directly to that corner as if it is listening, because it is. I bless my body with vitality. Every cell remembers its original music. I bless my relationships with patience and play. We meet again without the masks. I bless my career with focus and favor. I am trusted with work that matters. I bless my mind with clear blue thought. I think from the answer, not toward it. As you declare, you are not reciting superstition, you are choosing the weather you will walk in. Repetition is not redundancy, it is rhythm. A river is only a river because it keeps going. So bless yourself often. Bless yourself when the day opens its eyes and when it closes them. Bless yourself in the supermarket, in the traffic line, in the mirror when your reflection is unsure whether to forgive you. Say, I am forgiven. Say, I am learning. Say, I am blessed in my beginning and blessed in my becoming. Each time you do, the old verdicts loosen and the verdict of love takes the bench. And when doubt comes, because it will come, sometimes wearing science, sometimes wearing memory, sometimes wearing the face of someone you once loved. When it stands in your doorway and asks for your certainty, give it compassion and let it pass. You can say this now, out loud or in the cathedral of your chest. I release the guilt that never taught me anything I couldn't learn with grace. I release the shame that tried to keep me safe by keeping me small. I bless myself with understanding. I bless myself with new choices. In the court of your own heart, clemency is creative power. Gratitude is a multiplier. Blessing is a flint. Gratitude is the spark. If you own even one breath, you own a beginning. If there is a roof, a window, a friend, a lesson, a sunrise, the ledger of your life is already tilted toward abundance. Say, I bless my life with gratitude, and draw a circle around what is working, and watch as the circle widens to include what is next. This is how the inner rearranges the outer. Because no change begins at the surface reports to the deep. A blessed inner world becomes visible as a blessed day, a blessed chance meeting, a blessed email that arrives exactly when it should. You are not at the mercy of accidents, you are at the mercy of agreements. And you can change your agreements. Now, before we go farther, let me place a living invitation in your hands. If something inside you is ready to stop wishing and start practicing, take this as a sign delivered on time. Join the 21-day challenge to design your dream life. The link is in the description and pinned comment. For 21 mornings and 21 evenings, we will bless, visualize, affirm, release, and give thanks with deliberate artistry. You do not have to drag your transformation alone. You can walk it with a chorus. Begin tonight. The field you seed tomorrow depends on what you plant now. Come with us. And still, our journey goes deeper. Because blessing is a door, but there are hallways beyond it. There is a practice older than your first memory and truer than your last mistake. There is a time the mystics favored, the hush before dawn, when even your worries fall asleep and your subconscious wakes to listen. Between 3 and 5 a.m., the veil thins. If you rise there, or if the hour rises you, do not curse the interruption. Consider it appointment, not accident. Be still. Do not reach for the clock like a drowning man. Let your breath lengthen. Let the room become a temple. Feel how time slows, as if the minutes themselves have been waiting to serve you. In that stillness, remember your rank. You are not a tourist in this universe. You are its native language. What you dwell upon there, what you hold and feel as already real, descends from the unseen like weather forming and gathers into event. This is not fantasy. It is fidelity to an inner law. The outer is apprenticed to the inner, and the inner apprentices to what you steadily feel to be true. If you would change the stage, change the script you rehearse at dawn, because the subconscious does not argue. It accepts impressions and constructs scaffolding in your days to match them. So give it blueprints, not complaints. Show it the room you will live in, not the hallway where you got lost. Show it the conversation already healed, the email already answered with favor, the test already passed, the body already remembering how to mend. What if, before the sun touches your window, you could step into the ending you desire, and by nightfall find the day busy catching up? When you open your eyes in the hush before sunrise, the world feels half dreaming, half awake. Shadows haven't yet decided who they belong to. The air carries a memory of silence older than language. It is here, right here, that creation listens most closely. The ancients called it the hour of the spirit. Modern science calls it a brainwave state. But names are irrelevant to what it feels like, a deep exhale between heaven and earth. Be still in this space. The mind is malleable, the heart uncluttered, and the veil between thought and manifestation is as thin as silk. In these early hours, you do not have to wrestle your desires into existence. You need only to remember that they already exist. Close your eyes and see. not as one who hopes, but as one who remembers. Remember what it feels like to live the life you long for. Step into the vision as though it were a memory returning, not a fantasy escaping. See the details, the colors, the scents, the air. Hear the laughter in the room you built, the stillness in the home you own, the echo of footsteps walking toward your destiny. Every vivid image, every feeling of completion impresses upon the subconscious the instruction to duplicate it in the visible world. This is the secret Neville taught. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not the mere thought, but the feeling. For thought is the brush, but feeling is the paint. Do not visualize outcomes with strain. That is not faith, that is fear in costume. Instead, glide through your vision like a remembered dream. Let it be easy. Let it feel inevitable. Let your heart sigh. Yes, this is mine. This has always been mine. Because when you align your inner atmosphere with the end you desire, the universe reorganizes itself around that frequency. The actors change, the scenery shifts, and what once seemed coincidence becomes choreography. And if the voice of doubt whispers, "But how?" smile gently. The how is not your task. You are the sculptor, not the stonecutter of circumstance. Creation has 1,000 instruments at its disposal. Your job is the melody. The orchestra will follow. So each morning in those sacred hours, become still. Feel the breath move in and out like tides. Picture the end and enter it. When you rise from your bed, do not leave the feeling behind. Carry it into breakfast, into the car, into your day. You will begin to notice subtle alignments, the call that arrives when you stop chasing it, the solution that appears when you stop forcing it, the door that was always there but only opens when your vibration matches the key. Because what you bless in imagination must appear in form. And yet, there is another truth, more difficult but more divine. Once you have seen, once you have felt, you must let go. Releasing is not abandonment. It is trust, wearing the perfume of peace. To release is to say, I have planted the seed. Now I allow the rain. It is the opposite of worry. Worry digs up the seed to check its progress. Faith lets the soil do its work. So after you visualize, whisper, "It is done." Then live as though the universe has already delivered, because it has. Time is only the lag between the invisible and the visible, between blueprint and brick. Do not try to force timing. Divine orchestration is not slow, it is precise. And while you wait, bless again, bless the waiting itself. Say, I bless this silence, for it is proof that something vast is aligning. I bless this pause, for it is the inhale before creation's exhale. Trust the pause. The pause is sacred. Now, before the dawn fades, speak your affirmations, not with desperation, but with authority. The universe bends to conviction. Say, I am one with the infinite that created me. I am the beloved of abundance. Everything I need flows toward me with grace and perfect timing. My body is light. My mind is clear. My heart is magnetic. I am the calm in my own storm. I live in the vibration of answered prayer. Do not whisper these as requests. Speak them as realities. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is spoken and what is. Every I am you declare is a decree written in the unseen. And here lies the miracle. As you repeat these words day after day, the external world begins to echo them back. People respond differently to you, not because they have changed, but because your energy has. Circumstances align not because chance favors you, but because faith has finally stopped fighting doubt. When you bless yourself, when you visualize and affirm, you are not commanding the universe, you are becoming it in motion. The sun does not beg the sky to rise. It rises, and the sky follows. So rise. Stand before your mirror one morning and say, I bless the reflection that once doubted her light. I bless the version of me that survived enough to reach this one. I am proud of the cracks that let the light prove itself real. This is not sentiment, it is alchemy. Every blessing you speak reorders atoms. Every word is a brushstroke on the canvas of creation. But here's the mystery most never realize. The blessing doesn't begin to work when you say it. It begins to work when you believe you deserve to say it. That is the hinge between effort and ease. Until you feel worthy, affirmation is a letter without an address. Once you feel worthy, it becomes a summons. So how do you believe? You practice remembrance. Each time you catch yourself speaking small, you correct it, not by reprimand, but by mercy. Each time you hear yourself say, I can't, you add the sacred amendment, yet. Because the universe does not respond to begging, it responds to being. Begin to be. Bless your mornings with expectation, your afternoons with gratitude, and your evenings with release. Walk as if the ground itself has been waiting for your footprint. And when the world asks, who do you think you are? Smile and answer without apology. I am the thought God is thinking right now. Stay still with that. Feel how your cells respond as if they've been waiting centuries to hear it. In that knowing, everything changes. Now breathe again. Let the old self exhale its fear. Let the new self inhale its future. Because the true miracle is not that you can create anything you want, it's that you already are the thing you were trying to create. You are not chasing abundance. You are abundance walking in search of itself. And the moment you remember, the game ends. The door opens, the field blooms. Your words become worlds. Your blessings become law. And you, finally, become the author of your own dawn. There comes a sacred moment in every creator's path, the threshold between effort and ease, between doing and allowing. It feels at first like surrender, but it is not defeat, it is transformation. It is the shift from the anxious will of the mind to the quiet knowing of the soul. When you have spoken your blessings, felt your future, and set your intention into motion, the next act is the hardest and holiest. You must let go. To release is not to abandon your dream, it is to hand it to the infinite. It is to say, I have done my part, now the universe will do its own. It is the understanding that creation is not forced, it flows. Rivers never push their way to the ocean, they are drawn by something larger. So too are your desires drawn toward the fulfillment that already exists in potential form. The only question is, will you allow yourself to float, or will you keep thrashing against the current? There is a kind of holy trust that grows in those who release. It says, even when I cannot see the seed sprouting, I know the roots are alive beneath the soil. It says, even when nothing moves on the surface, something is building in the deep. You cannot rush divine timing. The universe does not work in delays or detours. It works in preparation. Every pause, every silence, every unanswered prayer is not a denial, but a design. Trust this. When you bless and release, life begins to conspire on your behalf. The phone call comes when your energy matches it. The opportunity finds you when your heart can hold it. The healing arrives when your body finally believes it is safe to receive. Faith is not waiting. It is resting in the assurance that the unseen is already arranging itself into the seen. Now listen closely, because this is the mystery Neville spoke of. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve faith and fear at once. You cannot declare abundance in the morning and worship lack by evening. You must pick a frequency and stay loyal to it, even when the evidence disagrees. When fear arises, as it will, do not resist it, bless it. Say, I bless this fear for what it came to teach me. I bless its attempt to protect me, and I release it now, for I am safe without it. Fear is not the enemy, attachment is. Attachment says, I must have this or I will be lost. Faith says, I already have it, therefore I am found. The difference is vibration. Faith moves with quiet dignity. Fear scrambles for proof. So when you find yourself tempted to check the soil, to ask, where is it? Pause, smile, whisper, "It is done." Then turn your attention toward joy. Go for a walk, laugh with someone, cook your favorite meal, create space for lightness, because joy is not a reward for manifestation, it is the evidence that you are already in alignment. You see, the universe is not transactional. It does not say, "Work harder and I'll give you your blessing." It says, "Match the feeling and the blessing will recognize you." When you live in the feeling of your desired state, you magnetize the experiences that belong to it. But when you live in the waiting, you keep it waiting too. So trust. Trust enough to stop clutching. Trust enough to stop watching the clock. Trust enough to rest. Because the very moment you release, the current takes over, and that current knows the way home. Now, once you have blessed, visualized, affirmed, and released, there remains one final step, the secret doorway of gratitude. Gratitude is not polite, it is creative. It multiplies what it touches. It tells the universe, "I see what you've done, and I'm ready for more." Every night before you close your eyes, fall asleep in thanksgiving, not just for what you hold in your hands, but for what you know is already forming. Whisper, "Thank you for the answered prayer I have not yet seen." Feel it, not as hope, but as memory. For the subconscious mind, gratitude is proof. When you feel grateful for something that has not yet appeared, your inner world treats it as real. And when your inner world accepts it as real, your outer world begins to rearrange to match. This is how the invisible becomes visible. You fall asleep in gratitude, and while you sleep, the infinite works. It moves the pieces you cannot see. It whispers to others on your behalf. It guides your steps before your feet even touch the floor the next morning. While the world sleeps, the prayer breathes. So tonight, as you rest, breathe in deeply and feel the warmth of appreciation fill your chest. Thank your body for carrying you. Thank your mind for learning to listen. Thank your heart for surviving everything that once tried to close it. Thank the unseen intelligence that keeps your heartbeat steady, your dreams alive, your possibilities infinite. And then go further. Thank the life you are stepping into before it arrives. Thank the abundance that's already orbiting your reality. Thank the love that's finding its way to you. Thank the strength that's awakening inside you. Say it softly. Thank you for the miracle that is already mine. As you sink into sleep, you enter the workshop of the gods, the subconscious mind, and it takes your gratitude as instruction. It goes to work building bridges between worlds. In sleep, your imagination becomes a silent architect, and gratitude is the blueprint it follows. So fall asleep as though everything is already answered. Fall asleep with your heart light, your breath steady, your mind at peace. When morning comes, you will not need to hope anymore. You will know. Because when you master the art of gratitude before receiving, you collapse the distance between desire and fulfillment. The blessing no longer needs to travel toward you. It recognizes that it is already home. And here, in this realization, a new life begins. But let me tell you something the mystics kept hidden in plain sight. It's not the 3 a.m. ritual alone that transforms your life. It's the way you live after it. The true test of belief happens at noon, in traffic, in conversations that trigger old wounds, in moments when nothing mystical seems to be happening. That's where you decide again and again what story you belong to. Do you belong to the story of fear, lack, and waiting? Or do you belong to the story of abundance, faith, and arrival? Every time you choose faith in the middle of ordinariness, you build a bridge from heaven to earth. Every time you bless yourself when things don't go as planned, you prove to your subconscious that you are no longer available for self-doubt. You do not need candles, chants, or the perfect full moon. You need presence. Because the divine does not wait for ceremony. It lives inside the next breath. When you walk through your day, carry this awareness. Everything I bless blesses me back. Bless the traffic, for it slows you to meet your timing. Bless the challenge, for it strengthens your readiness. Bless the delay, for it protects your alignment. Bless the ordinary, for it hides the extraordinary in disguise. You are never waiting for the miracle. You are the miracle, learning to see itself through human eyes. And when that understanding takes root, even your smallest acts, breathing, smiling, choosing kindness, become sacred rituals of creation. Because in truth, the 21-day challenge, the affirmations, the midnight blessings, they are all training wheels. They teach you the language of the universe so you can speak it fluently in motion. And once you do, you no longer manifest, you embody. You become the answered prayer walking. When you finally reach the place where striving ends, a deeper rhythm begins. It's the rhythm of alignment, the pulse of creation moving through you rather than against you. You no longer chase the current, you have become the river. In this space, you understand what the great teachers meant when they said, "Be still and know." For in stillness there is no lack, no waiting, no distance between the dream and the dreamer. Everything simply is. This is the secret the mystics were trying to tell us, not in riddles but in resonance. The outer world is only a mirror of your inner consent. When you give permission for peace within, life rushes to display it without. When you accept abundance inwardly, gold gathers around you in forms you could never predict. And when you bless yourself without condition, you teach reality to recognize you as its master, not its servant. But this mastery isn't loud, it isn't proud, it doesn't boast or perform. True power is quiet. Like gravity, it doesn't announce itself, it simply moves everything. Now you walk through life differently. The mirror no longer confuses you. You understand that what you see, every success, every obstacle, is only feedback from your own vibration. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What in me is being reflected here?" And each time you ask that question with humility, the answer rises like dawn. The world is not testing you, it is introducing you to yourself. This is where your 21-day journey leads, not to a distant miracle, but to the rediscovery of your own creative dominion. It begins as discipline, becomes practice, and ends as nature. Soon you won't have to remind yourself to bless. You will simply be a blessing. You won't have to force gratitude. Your every breath will feel like thank you. You won't have to command faith. Faith will be the default temperature of your soul. And in that state, creation becomes effortless. Because creation was never meant to be effortful. It was meant to be expressive. Look around you. Every leaf, every wave, every sunrise creates itself without strain. Why should you be any different? The truth is, you are not becoming powerful. You are remembering that you already are. You are not learning to manifest. You are unlearning resistance. You are not chasing destiny. You are catching up to the part of you that never doubted. So, take one last deep breath. Let it be slow. Let it travel through every corridor of your being. And as you exhale, imagine every lingering shadow leaving you. Imagine yourself standing in the center of your own creation, no longer separate from it. This is your turning point, the moment you stop asking if and start declaring, "I am." Now, I want you to feel something. Imagine the future you once dreamed about, health restored, love returned, abundance multiplied, peace unshakable. See that version of you walking toward you now, smiling, radiant, sure. They reach out their hand and you take it. In that instant, you realize it was never the future at all. It was a higher frequency of your present. And it has been waiting for you to match it. The dream doesn't come true. You come true to the dream. Everything begins to merge, the visible and invisible, the seeker and the sought. You begin to live as consciousness wearing form, God experiencing God through you. This is not poetry, this is physics of the unseen. Vibration organizes matter. Belief arranges circumstance. Identity sculpts destiny. When you declare, "I am blessed," reality adjusts its orbit. When you declare, "I am worthy," the universe sends proof. When you declare, "I am love," even those who resist you begin to soften. It's not magic, it's mathematics written in light, and you are both the equation and its answer. There will still be days when you forget, days when the old noise returns, when the bills, the opinions, the delays make you doubt what you know. On those days, don't panic. Don't punish yourself for being human. Remember this: a wave cannot always stay at its peak. It must fall to rise again. The dip is not the end. It is the gathering of momentum for your next ascent. In those moments, return to your breath. Return to your blessing. Whisper the words that started it all. I bless myself. I bless my life. I bless my becoming. And as you speak, watch the storm inside you start to still. The same power that built galaxies is recalibrating inside your chest. This is why you are here, to remember that you are not a beggar in this universe. You are its beloved. You are not an echo of creation, you are its first sound. And you were never meant to merely survive. You were designed to create consciously. So live like that. Live as one who walks beside the infinite, not behind it. Speak as one whose words are laws waiting to become landscapes. Move through your days as a quiet revolution of light. Bless the ground you walk on. Bless the air you breathe. Bless every soul that crosses your path, even those who misunderstand you. Because blessing does not require approval, it only requires awareness. Remember, nothing resists unconditional love. It may appear to fight, but in the end it yields. Because unconditional love is not an emotion, it is the natural state of existence when fear dissolves. And now we return to the promise I gave you at the beginning, the promise of revelation. The secret hidden in plain sight is this: you were never meant to find the light. You are the light the world has been searching for. Every word you've spoken, every blessing you've breathed, every vision you've dared to feel, they have not been requests sent outward, they have been reminders sent inward. You are not summoning abundance, you are remembering your nature as abundance itself. You are not asking for love, you are awakening as love embodied. You are not calling for miracles, you are realizing that your existence is one. The voice within you, the quiet field, the whisper before dawn, that is not imagination. That is creation speaking your name. So tonight, as the world grows silent again, as the stars blink like watchful eyes above your dreams, repeat these words until they become the rhythm of your breath. I am not waiting for the universe, I am the universe, learning to recognize itself. I am not becoming whole, I am wholeness remembering its reflection. I am not chasing light, I am the dawn. Let these words enter your cells. Let them rearrange your memories. Let them make every tomorrow an echo of today's awakening. Because the story was never about becoming something new. It was about returning to what you've always been. And when you finally see that, when the illusion of distance dissolves, you will smile. Not because you found the secret, but because you remembered you were the secret all along. So go now. Speak your blessings like prayers that have already been answered. Walk in gratitude that has nothing left to ask for. And sleep tonight knowing that the same infinite mind that painted galaxies is still painting through you, word by word, breath by breath, moment by miraculous moment. This is your life. This is your creation. This is your return to power. And when you open your eyes tomorrow, the universe will rise to greet you, not as something separate, but as your own reflection smiling back, whispering the eternal truth. You are the dream and the dreamer. You are the light and the dawn.